Hey everybody, welcome back to What the Hell, Vedika. I am here today with my friend M. We just call each other M. That's what we've done for like the last 5 years. And I don't know why that even started, but her name for Americans is more complex to say, and I never wanted to type it all out like when we DM. So I just started just putting your initial on it. Maiteryee. Is that good? How's that?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Join Mike, Janda, and guests to discuss the things that make creative people say, "What the hell, Vedika?"
Kalaskar. How's that?
Yeah, awesome.
It's kind of Americanized version. Okay, you're a designer. Why don't you just introduce yourself just a minute or two so people know who you are? Okay.
It's a very complicated introduction, by the way, but hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Michael, for getting me here, or thank you so much, M, for getting me here. But yeah, I am Maiteryee Kalaskar. It's a very hard name. I don't know what my parents were thinking about it, but you can call me Matt or M. I'm an independent designer, kind of going through the whole studio phase right now, and I've started it in like 5-6 years back. I also do branding, illustrations, packaging. I'm all over the place right now. So I just introduced myself as multidisciplinary designer. And M has been like a big mentor and a supporter for a lot of years now. So thank you so much for being there.
So good. You have a YouTube channel that you're giving a mild effort to. I pulled it up this morning. She has a video 3 weeks ago, a video a month ago. It looks like you're doing what I did for so many years. It's just like spurts where it's like, okay, I got to get my YouTube going. And then you start sharing video. And then all of a sudden other things start taking priority. And then your Instagram, that's where we first connected, on Instagram. And you have a decent little audience there. But again, that's kind of a half effort for you over the years as well. Is that right? Like
it is, yeah.
Effort?
I mean, half effort is like a stretch, though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a stretch.
It's a stretch.
Your work's so good, though. Your work is so good, and I know you've been recognized for your work that you share. Actually, I can just pull it up. I'm going to pull up some of your work right while we're talking here. So those of you that are watching this, those of you that are watching this on the live video, I'll just scrub through a couple of things here. Okay, so you say multidisciplinary designer. You have an illustrative style in a lot of the work that you do, and it's fun and creative. That's what I love about your work style and your brand in general, is that you really embrace the creative styling, like this, for example. It's just so fun. And then you're so good on camera and video and stuff too. So it's just, you got all these great components built into who you are. And I'm excited to chat today about marketing yourself as a designer. This was your question that you came to me with. You were like, hey, can we chat sometime about marketing, finding clients, cold leads for clients? How do you get your name out there more in a way that generates opportunities? And so when you messaged me, I was like, well, let's just do this as an episode for people, because so many people have this same challenge. Yeah.
I think I came to you like, can I pick your brain on marketing? And because I think I've always asked you questions about like design specifically, or being creative. But I think we have not talked about marketing as such. And I'm always looking for perspectives and guidance. So here I am.
Well, here you are. So the marketing side, it's such a good question, because so many people are super talented at the craft. They're an amazing designer. They've got all the skill set. They have their software skills. They can produce the work, but they don't have business knowledge, and they don't have sales knowledge and marketing knowledge, how to get the opportunities, how to get the word out there that they even exist. It's such a common problem. And to be honest, you do this better than most already. Like you've gotten your name out there, and you've gotten recognized for your work, and you have your podcast, and you can get your collaborations. You can build relationships, which is really what the heart of marketing is. It's building a relationship between a brand and a potential customer. That's all that marketing in its kind of most rawest form is. So you sent over like 10 questions or 10 talking points. Do you want to just like launch into the first one, and then I'll give a response to it, and then you can ask follow-ups or add, because you're not, it's a weird one, this one, because you're not inexperienced. You've already been doing this. You're seasoned as a creative. So you have value to add. So let's do it where I'll answer first, and then you add thoughts and things, or talk about things you've tried in the vein of what I talked about or whatever. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. I think we can just launch into the questions, and if we feel like it, we can go on tangents, and I think that is the better way to cover a lot of
All right,
questions.
do it.
Yeah. All right. First question, M. I think we've always talked about like design and services in general, but selling these services and getting into the marketing, how important it is, and how can one understand the need of it when they're just starting out?
And when you say understand the need of it, you're talking about how can a designer who's trying to sell their own services understand the need, or how do you help a client understand the need for marketing?
No, from designers, like as a studio owner, okay, or like as an independent designer, or even a freelancer. So, yeah. Yeah.
So here's the biggest problem with creatives is the hoping for work. I bought a book. This was like a couple years into my agency, and I was at a discount bookstore, and there was a book. I was reading just tons of business books at the time because I didn't have business knowledge. I was like you. I had great craft. I could do the design work and produce the work, but I didn't understand the business side of any business. And so I just was self-educating. And I found this book, and I bought it because of the title. And the title of the book was Hope is Not a Strategy. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, that's my current marketing plan, is hope. My current marketing plan is wake up in the morning and hope that there's an email from somebody who wants me to do work for them. So I read this book, and it was so eye-opening to me. And the title is so good. Hope is not a strategy, but that is the strategy that so many creatives take. They just sit there behind their screen hoping that something comes. And I learned that lesson. And once I started to take a more active approach, my agency started to grow. We doubled our billings a couple years in a row. I tripled my team size. It was all just like everything started to open up because I started to realize that that marketing or getting your name out there or finding opportunities is all about like Newton's third law of motion, which states for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And it's the same in marketing. You will not have any opportunities if you're not putting forth action. You have to do something, and then there can be a response of opportunities. And doing nothing, like most creatives are doing, where they just get up in the morning and they're going to redesign their website again, thinking that that's going to be the thing that makes an opportunity come, when in reality, their last website was just great. It would have gotten them work, and they should have spent that time they spent redesigning trying to get eyeballs to their existing website. That kind of action is what is at the heart of getting opportunities. It's every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And if you have no action, then you have no reaction, meaning no opportunities. So I think that that's kind of at the base level of understanding this. My recommendation to people is every day you do something relating to sales, whether you're busy or not. And something relating to sales, so this is a tangible, actionable thing. Something relating to sales can be, okay, I worked on client work the whole day. I've spent 6 hours on this logo project I'm doing. I'm kind of wrapping up my day. Oh, yeah, Mike said I have to do something relating to sales. What should I do? Oh, I'm going to email that client that I did a project for last year and I haven't touched base with. So I'm going to email them, and you're going to spend the 20 seconds or 30 seconds or 1 minute emailing that client. And then you can check the box that you did something relating to sales. You email the client that you lost touch with. The next day, it could be, what am I going to do for sales today? Oh, you know what? I have that networking event in my town that I'm going to go to. I'm going to go attend that. Okay, good. That's easy. Check the box. You did something relating to sales. What are you going to do the next day? Oh, you know what? I should reach out to somebody on LinkedIn. And I had a message there that somebody messaged me, or I messaged with somebody there 5 months ago, and I never followed up with them. I'm going to follow up with that person. So that it's just this one little drip action over time is what stimulates this law of motion, that it is your actions that will make a reaction happen. Okay, what are your thoughts on that topic? This is the most general of the ones we're doing.
No, makes sense, because I think there's a recent post that I did, like on Instagram and LinkedIn, was like, inaction is the poison. And the one thing you said was, hope is not a strategy. So I completely understand. And I usually wake up when there's like, oh, now we need to get clients, because we just are getting closing the clients, or we're just finishing some work, and there are some cold leads coming in. But I think, because again, I'm usually like a one-man army kind of thing, and I have some designers now on my team full-time, which is great, but I now want to build that sustainable flow of clients, right? So now that we're talking about strategy in general, and like taking actions like every single day, what do you think are like the top 3 ways, or like top 3 strategies that you would apply if you were me right now?
Okay, so it's finding clients. Well, I have 3 tangible takeaways on this. So the first one relates to what I was just talking about, that every day you do something that relates to sales. So my recommendation here is that you open up a spreadsheet, and on that spreadsheet, you put the name of every single person that you've ever associated with in business ever in your whole life. And you have a lot of them because you've been active in social media. So you have all those people, all the Mike Jandas in your world that you have so many of should be on that list. Every past client should be on that list. Every person who was copied on a message at a client. You were working with a creative director, a marketing director at a company. That was your point person, but they were copying their marketing coordinator on the emails because they were sort of involved. So there's this other person there. You put that person on there. You put your mates from school that you went to uni, and you put all those people on there. You put everybody that you can think of that you have worked with or associated with in business. That's what goes down in the rows. And then in the columns, you put 52 weeks for 52 weeks in the year. And then you start tracking your touch points. I call it my staying top of mind spreadsheet. And you start tracking your touch points. So when you email Sally, you put it on the spreadsheet. I emailed Sally in week 3. And then you, with Joe, my old friend Joe, who was my best friend in college, I commented on his Facebook post. That was your little touch point with Joe. You had another client where you started a new project. So you put that on week 7. You put, I took this client to lunch, or this potential client to lunch, or this friend to lunch on week 18. And you start tracking your touch points with all of these people. And what you'll see quickly is what happens with us is that all of a sudden 6 months goes by and we haven't even DM'd each other. And you're not on my radar and I'm not on your radar. And we're like, all of a sudden time has slipped. And if you're not on the radar, then you're not going to be top of mind for opportunities when those people have them.
Yep.
So you have to nurture relationships through tactics like this, and creating a little spreadsheet where you track these touch points is a game changer, because you're going to find that you have people that you have associated with in business and you haven't even DM'd them in 3 years. You'll be like, what in the world was I thinking? This is what happens when people do this. They're like, oh my gosh, I did a logo project for somebody 3 years ago and I haven't touched base with them since. What am I thinking? Because over those 3 years, certainly they had print work that they needed. They had a website redesign that they did with somebody else because you weren't on the radar. They had a new logo rebrand or a new product launching and you weren't on the radar because you did not stay top of mind with those people. So that's tactic number one, is start tracking your touch points with all the people that you can in business. And they don't have to be asking for work. It just has to be staying top of mind. So when opportunities happen to them, they think, oh yeah, I need to reach out. I could reach out to her. She could do that logo for us. Because they're sitting in a meeting and somebody says, well, we got this new product. We need somebody to do a logo. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? I just got a DM from a friend of mine from college and I'm going to reach out to her. She'd be great at this. I just saw some of her recent work. It's awesome. But if you're not keeping in touch with these people, then those opportunities they happen and you're not even in the conversation. Yeah. Okay, so that's number one. Do you have questions about that one?
No, makes sense.
Okay. And you could use a CRM like this. This is what CRM tools do. Go and sign up for Pipedrive or something where you can track your clients and your touch points. But I like this spreadsheet idea on this because it's so visual. You can see the list of people, you can see your actions that you're taking, and you'll quickly see most of the time that you didn't do nearly enough actions to create reactions when you see it all in one visual shot. Okay, the next one, that's tactic number one. Tactic number two is meet new people. And face-to-face is best. I think every creative should be a member, every creative entrepreneur, freelancer, agency owner, should be a member of one or two networking types of entrepreneur groups. You should be attending the monthly luncheon or the monthly breakfast where they bring in a speaker and you sit at a table, and you just have to meet new people. And that's an easy way to start meeting new people and nurturing new relationships. So I think that that's something that every creative entrepreneur should be doing. Look for that in your town. And it doesn't matter if those people are insurance people or landscaping people or plumbers or whatever. It doesn't matter what they are. Everybody is like, I believe in this, the 6 degrees of separation mindset, that everybody in the world is connected to each other by 6 degrees. So you know somebody who knows someone 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 who's a friend of mine. And everybody in the world, all 8 billion people, are connected by these 6 degrees of separation. In this mindset of meeting new people, I believe that it's 1 degree of separation that between whoever you meet and a potential client for you, that every person you meet knows someone or associates with someone who could potentially be a client opportunity for you. So meeting new people, that person, that insurance person trying to sell their insurance at the networking thing, they may not be the client for you, but certainly they have an aunt who owns a restaurant, or an uncle who's a lawyer and has his own firm, or whatever. They have somebody somewhere, or their old colleague from uni is a creative director at some agency. You just don't know who these people know, but I think it's like 1 degree of separation between whoever you meet and an opportunity for your business. So you got to meet new people, and getting involved in a networking group of some kind is an easy way to force you to meet new people.
Yeah.
Okay, thoughts on that one?
I agree. I think I've been doing all
Are
of this,
you
but I think the
good?
space between the action is long. I think it needs consistency now that I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it usually is because time goes so fast. If you're not forcing yourself to do like the initial thing, do something that relates to sales every day. If you don't force yourself or have that rule for yourself, then all of a sudden 6 months goes by and you didn't do anything. And
Yeah.
you're like, and then you panic sell. You alluded to that. I call it panic selling, where all of a sudden you don't have opportunities or enough work for your team. And you're like, oh crap, now what do? I got to go. And then you join the networking group and then you start DMing all the people you know and you're panic selling. But when you panic sell, it takes a month, 2 months, 3 months for your panic selling efforts to actually turn into an opportunity. You should have been panic selling 3 months ago when you had work,
Yeah.
because that would have been the opportunities that you have today.
Yeah, because it takes a long time to convert like
Yeah.
good clients out of it. At least like that I've seen recently. So we started recently to do some cold emailings or at least find people that we want to work with. And I think before that, I think I've been lucky enough to get clients just inbound a lot. Inbound?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just people coming in because they like my work or whatever I'm sharing online or Instagram. I don't think I've gotten work from Instagram, but yeah, LinkedIn definitely. But I think I got too comfortable in that, like, oh, I'm getting work now. It's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now that we are kind of building everything and we are getting bigger clients and we would love to, be more chaotic when it comes to creativity. I think, yeah, I'm looking for that sustainable client flow. And I think that'll
Yeah.
come with consistency, like you're saying. And I have been doing all these things, but yeah, I think there's no consistency there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it takes. It takes that consistency. The reason that it kind of ebb and flows is because people buy when they have pain. And they buy when they have pain. And so this is why, and we're going to talk about cold reach out soon, but this is why cold reach out sucks so bad, because you're emailing people who don't have pain right now. And I'll save this for the next thing, but that's the challenge. And so this 3 month kind of cycle is that if you're reaching out to somebody once a month, then all of a sudden on month number 3, 4, 5, now they have pain because, oh man, my company's launching a new product. I need some branding done for it. I have a need, and they reach out to you. But those 3 months before that, when you're just sending them a DM or showing up on their social feed or commenting on something they posted or whatever, those touch points are just you staying top of mind until they have need. And then when they have need, you're the choice. If you let the time go too far, they have moments of need when you're not on the radar, and they give that to somebody else who was on the radar. That's what typically happens.
Makes sense. Because I'm usually from my end, I'm like, oh, I don't want to, continuously go and ask for work. So I usually stay in touch with a lot of people, but it's mostly because I want to stay in touch. And because the more I stay in touch, I get to see what they're working on, what they're posting, which is sometimes really invaluable. So, yeah, I think I need to be a bit more conscious on how I'm reaching out and, yeah, doing the cold email part, or just like, hi, hello, how are you? Kind of.
Yeah, just checking in. We haven't chatted for a long time. If you sent me that DM, just that DM like that, where, Mike, I can't believe it's been 7 months since we did our last collab, and you and I haven't, when we did, it was like 7 months ago or something. I don't even remember the date, but it was like, I did an episode on your podcast, and all of a sudden months and months go by and we hadn't DM'd since you pinged me like last week. What happened to those 7 months? And you and I are friends, but we let all that time slip between contact. How many people like that do you have in your life? And that's a rhetorical question for everybody listening. The answer is a lot. You have a lot of people that like that.
Yeah.
And I've had potential clients reach out to me saying, Mike, do you know anybody who can do this or that? And I've referred things to other people who were top of mind to me. But if you, and I'm not saying this to make you feel bad, but if you would have been top of mind, it would have been like, oh, you should check out my friend M. She's awesome. Check out her work. I can make an introduction to her.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of this kind of tracking the touch points and making sure that not too much time goes past between when you're communicating, because people get the need moment and you want to be top of mind when that happens.
I think that
Okay,
was
so
like,
we're
yeah.
okay. Go ahead.
Oh no,
Go
that
ahead.
was like the biggest mistake that I did, was not reaching out to designers for work, because I'm like, oh, they are a designer on their own. I don't think they need other designers to maybe give work out to people. So I was just getting in touch with designers because, yeah, I think we share a lot of things together, and that's it. But I think it's from a year now that I've been collaborating with other studios and other agencies, which I'm like, people or like agencies always need contacts when they feel like they don't have the right talent, or maybe they don't even have the bandwidth right now to maybe work on them, but they don't want the client to go. So they sometimes are like, oh, let me give this work to someone else, but we can just come in for like creative direction or something. So I'm like, that makes sense, because even I have outsourced a lot of work to other agencies where I've just done creative direction and they can take the work ahead when I have not time. But yeah, I think I need to rethink stuff.
Yeah. The people say that they say, oh, I shouldn't share on Instagram because it's just designers who follow me. But I'm like, man, every one of those designers is working somewhere. Every one of them is 1 degree of separation away from an opportunity for you. That's the way that I look at it. And so, some people may get more opportunities than others through those platforms, but I don't think it's wasted at all. I don't think that any waste is had when you have the more people you have at the top of your funnel of people that know about you, the more opportunities are going to drip out of the bottom of that funnel. And so build an audience on Instagram, even if it's a bunch of other designers just like you and they follow because they think your work is cool. Build it. That does go into the third point. So you said, what are the top 3 marketing strategies? We had staying top of mind spreadsheet, and then we had get involved in some kind of face-to-face marketing networking group. The last one is building authority. And I think you do this really well. It's building authority by posting your work on a social platform, by creating your own podcast. These are the things that you've done. Creating your own podcast, being active on LinkedIn, making a YouTube channel and sharing videos. You've built authority through those things because of sharing your knowledge or sharing your expertise. And I think every creative entrepreneur should be doing that somewhere. It's freaking free. And if you don't it's free to post on Instagram. And if you don't like being on camera, then don't start a YouTube channel. If you don't like being talking, then don't start a podcast. But maybe you should figure out how to like writing and then share articles on LinkedIn. Yeah. Or maybe you just like to make sick, cool design, then start posting it on Dribbble or Behance or Instagram and choose that platform. Choose the platform that's right for you. And you are in the unique situation where you like and do all of those things, but a lot of creatives don't. They don't like to do all of them. They don't want to get on a podcast like you and I right now and riff on topics. They don't want to do that. So they don't have to, but they do need to do something to start building authority somewhere. And so figure out what platform is right for you and what type of content is right for you, and then go all in and start making it part of your normal flow. It may not generate the initial opportunity, but it will generate authority that will help people say yes to you. And so they'll check you. They'll check you. And when somebody is looking at you, M, versus another designer, and they're like, okay, who should I choose? And they go to your website and they see social link and they click your Instagram and they're like, wow, she's got great, cool work, really creative. Oh, look, here she's speaking. Oh, there's something on YouTube. And they hit your YouTube and then they see some videos there. All of a sudden, authority. And then the other person you're competing against has nothing posted anywhere, no audience of any kind. And you look like the safe choice because you've built authority in your space. And it does not matter if most of the people who follow you are other designers in your industry, the authority is the same, if not even more, because a client could look at that and say, wow, she's great. And look, other designers follow her. That's great. So she's a thought leader in her space. I'm going to choose her. I think that's the unnoticed value in building an audience full of designers, is that it helps a potential client realize that you are a safe choice and they can trust you because other designers in your industry trust you. So don't feel bad if your Instagram isn't generating client opportunities. It may generate an enhanced ability to close leads.
Instagram never generated opportunities for me at all. It's like 1 out of 1,000 or something. So I've always looked at Instagram like scrapbook or something to share work with other designers or like community or something. I think the thing that I've shared, like gotten work to me, is like Behance and LinkedIn. These two things have worked really well for me. But recently I had this experience. One of the clients, like a potential client, I was pitching to him, and he was based out of Florida, and he was like, oh, this works really nice. We sent them some mock work that we can do for them, and, some solution ideas and everything. And, we can go ahead and start doing more discovery sessions with you once we get into the project and all of that. And he's like, yeah, we have some other candidates as well. So, let me get back to you. And I got an email from him in the evening saying, I just checked your YouTube out. I just saw how much things you're doing online, and that made me connect to you way more, because the other candidates we are looking for, we cannot see them anywhere. This kind of made me like, oh, you are like the same thing that you said. You're like a safer choice for me right now, because I know where to reach you out, and you are there everywhere. So it's easier for me to see what you have done and what you are doing and the passion that you show. And the confidence in the end, quote unquote, to put your face out there and talking about all of this. So it makes us confident in you that you might know a bit more than others, which may or may not be true, right? But I think I never thought like clients would actually dig up my YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel is, I know,
for sure will.
So I'm like,
But it's so good, because then they watch a video and now they know what your personality is like, and they know what you're going to be like in meetings. And then they look at it and say, man, she seems so nice. And look, her work's really good. I'm going to reach out to her. I want to work with somebody like her. That's what happens. So it builds authority and helps them say yes to you instead of somebody else. I'm glad you shared that experience, because that's exactly what happens for so many people.
I know. And I think I've been kind of blinded to that for a very long time. But a lot of even clients that I get, they still refer to the old videos that I've done with Chris Doe on his channel. So I'm like, oh God, like, have you seen the work that I've done there? Like, are you serious? But if you're still coming to me, I'm like, I'm glad. I hope I can help you out. So
yeah, it's good. Okay, let's go to question 3. What's the next one?
Yes, the next one. There's
through normal time.
I know. So the thing is, the next question is about something else, but let's talk about the cold emailing first, because we just talked about this on the next, like the question we did now.
Okay.
So what do you think cold emails are, and do they work? And what are the best approaches to go ahead and, just coldly reach out to somebody? Someone you have not worked with at all.
Yeah. So a couple of quick things. The first one is, give me a type of client, that you want to try and reach. Give me an industry or a service or something that you like to sell. Who do you try and reach out to? An ideal client.
So recently we are actually targeting skincare industries, because we have worked with a couple of skincare clients from Korea a couple of years back, and I would love to get back into it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, skincare clients. Here's what the strategy is for cold emailing. The first thing you do is you make a landing page that is, hey, this is my agency. We're experts in skincare branding. We would love to help your brand reach more target customers. That's the general message. And then there's a little thing that says, here are some of the skincare projects we've done in the past. And you have 3 or 4 or 5 case studies. And then you have a testimonial from a skincare client that says, oh, we worked with Em. She was amazing. Her team did so great. And the product, we freaking loved the work that they did. It was so great. And then you have a call to action. Want to blow up your skincare brand? Give us a call. That's the general flow of this landing page. And now you take that landing page and you go and look for marketing directors, marketing managers, marketing coordinators at skincare companies. And you look for them on LinkedIn. Type in skincare marketing director, and you find all the people there, and those are your target people. Now, what do? You take all those names and you put them into your staying top of mind spreadsheet, and you start to nurture a relationship with them. And the challenge that people have with cold email or cold reach out is that it's only one touch point. It's only one. And you need, according to the rule of 7 in marketing, you need 7 touch points to turn a potential client into a paying client. This is why Nike advertises everywhere and has their logo on every jersey of every major sports person, because all those are little touch point. Ronaldo, everybody knows Ronaldo, and we see a Nike logo and we know Ronaldo's a Nike person. Those are all those touch points with Nike brand, and now we trust Nike brand. The challenge with cold email is that they don't know you, they don't trust you, you've only had one touch point. It's not going to convert them. Your goal should be to build as many touch points as you can with the person. And some of those you can do before you cold reach out, and some you do after. Before you cold reach out, you go and find some marketing director at a skincare company in Korea. You find them, you look at their LinkedIn, and you see that they've posted an article, or they've shared something, or they have something in their LinkedIn feed. You comment on it. There's a touch point. That's all it is. Hey, thanks for sharing this. We just had a client do something similar. It was super effective. That's your comment on their thing. That's one touch point. Now you have maybe do that again on another LinkedIn post, and then you send your cold email. And now they recognize your name when it drops into their LinkedIn because they saw you in their comments 2 or 3 times. And you send the cold email, and that cold email is, hey, my agency, we're experts in skincare. Here's a landing page that shows what we do for skincare brands. We just finished a project for Clinique, and they were super happy. We'd love to work with you. Now you have a better chance of getting noticed if you've dripped into their feed a couple of times before that. And you have a better chance of getting the click if the click says Maiteryee.com/clinique or /skincare brands. That's the URL you put in there. Then all of a sudden it is exactly what they're looking for. You don't send them to your homepage. You send them to this landing page that is hyper targeted to their brand and industry. But that's still, we're only on like 3 touch points. So if they click the link, then you get a touch point when they saw your website. But 4 touch points, according to the rule of 7, is still not going to convert. You need 3 more touch points before you can potentially convert that person. They may not even reply to your LinkedIn message, but you got to drip into their comments a couple other times, and you try and nurture this relationship. But you go back to this first idea of a spreadsheet with all the names and all the weeks, and you have to start nurturing a relationship with a potential client. That's how cold email can be effective. But again, it's not the most ideal because there's no trust, there's no relationship. You're just dripping out of nowhere. And the only chance you really have of getting cold email to work is if it somehow drops into them at a moment of pain. So you reach out to this marketing director at a skincare company, and the day that you happen to reach out with your cold email, they fired their last agency, and their internal creative director quit. And now the marketing director is panicking because their last agency sucked and their marketing director quit. And then poof, all of a sudden your email shows up and they're like, oh, great. This is great. Yes, this is good timing. Can you have a Zoom call with me? Because they're in pain. But you have to send it to like 10,000 people to hopefully, luckily, drip it into somebody at a moment when they have pain. Otherwise, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
So the better plan is to nurture. The nurturing drips and try and create 7 touch points that are positive interactions with you and your brand, or send it to the masses and hope that it drops in a moment of pain when they're so panicked that they'll call some stranger that just showed up in their LinkedIn. It's rare that happens, but it does happen.
It does. Like, it has happened with me. Like, the last skincare brand that we've worked with, they're based out of New York. And the founder wanted someone in the intern in design and specifically all of that stuff. And I just sent her very specific designs curated for their brand, like I think 5 or 6 of them, and said like, oh, this is something that I can do for you. This is specifically for your company. Feel free to go ahead and use them. I just saw that you needed somebody. If this is something that you like, get in touch with me. And I think we've been still working together. I just got a message from her like, oh, let's work on another project. So, something like that works. Yeah. So something like that works, but I think I have to keep it going now. I think consistency, Michael, consistency.
Consistency. That's the problem with everybody. Is the problem.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I think we've covered a lot of questions. I think the only question I want to ask you, the most of the people that I'm reaching out to, non-designers specifically, about marketing in general, they have been saying that thing, oh, get a salesperson, or like get someone in BD, business development or lead generation. But I've also heard from a lot of designers that no one can sell your services, like creative services, better than you, because as a designer, you know what to sell and what to pitch. So what are your thoughts on that? Have you ever hired someone like a non-designer to sell your services or to just get leads?
Yes, I did every sales experiment ever at my agency. I had commission-based salesperson. I had full-time salaried salesperson. I had junior level, just hungry, going to get leads person. I mean, I tried everything. At the agency I sold to, they experimented with everything too. They hired a few salespeople and they were like, let's get this. And they were hiring people who already had a network of people to work. And at the end of the day, who were the people who were closing the deals? It was the partners of the agency. Yeah. That's what it was. So the thing, the phrase, no one can sell your services better than you, is true, but I would rephrase it and say, no one can close a sale for your business better than you. Now, you can hire somebody to do touch points, to nurture relationships, and let them even log in as you and tell them, here's your spreadsheet, nurture a relationship with these 20 marketing directors at skincare companies, nurture the relationship with them. And they could even pose as you being the person doing it, or you could just give them the title of VP of Biz Dev at your agency and let them nurture the relationship. But when the opportunity finally shows up, you should be in the sales meeting. You should be talking to the client and riffing ideas and identifying their problem and helping them understand what you can do to solve the problem for them. You should be the one doing that. I stepped out of sales at my agency in 2000, end of 2013, something like that. 6 months later, the numbers were way down, half what I was doing. And I had 3 people doing sales. 2 of them were dedicated to sales, and then one of them was half dedicated to sales. And they were not generating opportunities. They were not putting in the effort. Not all of them, one of them especially wasn't putting in the effort, and they weren't able to close the deals that I was able to close, because there's something magical about you. And that's why you have an agency, and that's why you have a social media following. It's because you have the knack for sharing things with authority and ideating solutions and building trust with a client. You have that ability, and it is hard to delegate that. I didn't even ever figure out how to do it. The agency I sold to, we had 4 partners. I was a minority partner. We had another minority partner, and then we had 2 major majority partners. What our jobs was 90% of the time was being in sales meetings, the partner. Most of the other stuff was delegated, and the partners were involved in the sales of the projects. Because even at an agency like that, doing $7 million a year, it's still the partners who are closing those deals, closing the deals. So nobody can close better than you. That's true. But you can have somebody do nurture work, cold emails, sales touch, or staying top of mind touch points, or tracking your spreadsheet of people, and even telling you, hey, Em, you got to email. Here's 3 people you should email. It's been 6 months since you last reached out to them. Here's 3 people. They can give you assignments off of the spreadsheet. So you're not opening it and figuring out, who do I reach out to? They can give you assignments to nurture your own relationships. You can have somebody do that. But man, you better be the one on the calls to close the deals.
Definitely.
Even when you're doing millions and millions of dollars a year, it's still that way. That way.
I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I think we've covered all the topics, specifically all the questions that I had for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get
on time?
Did you get? Yeah. Did you get some good nuggets out of that?
Definitely. I think I've been kind of hearing the same thing again and again about be consistent. I think you have to put yourself out there even more now, and get in touch with people that you've worked with before. I have been doing it, but again, it's not consistent, and I think I have to kind of push that every single week, every single month as well. Slowly, one step at a time.
This is the beauty of social media, is it's never been easier to nurture a relationship with somebody.
Yes.
You can do it in the comments of their post. I have people that nurtured relationships with me in the comments and DMs of Instagram, and it has turned into work opportunities for them. I have those people.
100%. Yep. I think one of those recent examples for me was Michael Fuchstrader, amazing illustrator. He's working with Adobe. And he pushed my name for one of the Adobe projects and stuff, and I worked with them for illustrations. It was really fun, and I think keeping it going that way and helping each other out is really fun that way. So
yeah. Okay, well, this was super fun. Thank you.
It was really fun. Yeah, thank you so much for getting me here. It was really nice.
This is so fun. Okay, so we're not going to let like 7 months go by before we do another collab on something. They're fun.
Yeah. I mean, I've been stalking you on Instagram, and your like newer posts have been hilarious. But I think I should irritate you a bit more in DMs now.
Maybe it won't be irritation. It'll be like, oh, thank you. Finally,
I'll make sure it's irritation. Don't worry.
I got to do better. Okay, so my new Instagrams, my Moon Brands one got so many haters.
I saw.
The first 3 brands on the moon. Oh my gosh. And I made jokes about whether we really landed on the moon or not. And people were raging. They were raging.
I mean, I saw it in a bit more of a comedic thing, like to get attention.
It was comedic. It was comedic.
Sarcastic in a way, just talking about, because you were kind of stitching in. You're stitching in a lot of design and creativity together with those hooks that you have, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. And I was like, I just woke up, and I'm like, oh, that's really fun. And I opened the comments, and I'm like, oh my god, what's happening?
They were freaking haters. I quit reading the comments. Because I was like, I can't stand the haters. But man, some people are so riled up about stuff.
I saw that specific video about I think, the one that you're mentioning for 5-6 times or something, even more. And I'm like, am I missing a point? Don't you think this is like a joke or something?
Yeah, it was pretty clear that it was. I would joke all around about it. My gosh. Oh, anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation
Yeah.
talking about the hater world of social media.
Oh
Whew.
God. Yeah, I just
I
got like
feel
a couple
bad
of
for
my
those
new
people.
haters like this year. So yeah, I'm just
You
new into
did.
this whole thing. Yeah.
I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for the people who wake up in the morning and they open up their social feed looking for the thing that they're going to be offended by today. That's what, and
Yeah.
some people do that and they
Yeah.
comment on it. And here's the thing I see not half, 90% of those people don't even use their own photo as their profile pic. They just stick some weird graphic in there because it's just a hate bomb
Yeah.
account for them. They don't even
Yeah.
want to show their own face. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, you lame people.
I know. It's weird though. Like, yeah, I think nowadays I'm kind of walking on eggshells because someone asked me for some podcast thing. He was based out of New York. He just told me that, and he was into a different kind of a creative aspect. So I told no, I'm into just branding, illustration, and packaging. And he just went through like, oh, is it because I'm black and all of that? I'm like, wait, whoa, wait! I didn't even see your wait, what?
Yes.
And then
I
he
know,
just
hate that
tracked me
stuff.
down on YouTube, and he just started to comment on a lot of. I had to flag him and all of that. I'm like, oh God.
Oh no.
I don't say yes to everything. I'm sure even you don't, and I feel like when you don't have that anything in common, it's weird to talk about anything. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Like,
was,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, come on.
that
there's-
person
there's
might
a-
also be fake, so I don't know. But
Somebody is behind the comment, though. It wasn't a bot.
that's true. No, that's
Somebody's
true.
behind the comment. So,
That's true. That's true.
well, yes, that's the unfortunate world. Sometimes I don't even read my comments. I can't handle it. So I don't even check them because emotionally, I have the emotional capacity to share something, but I don't even have the emotional capacity to see how people responded to it. So I just let it be.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why whatever I've grown on Instagram, it's just very, very organic. If you like my work, come and like it because thankfully
Yeah.
on Instagram, I've not found any haters till now at least. So I'm like,
They're
it's fine.
there.
Even if
They're
it's like
coming for you.
13,000, I'm
They're
fine.
coming for you.
I don't want more followers if it's
Yeah.
not going to be good enough. So
Yeah. Well, they're coming. They're coming. They're looking at your feed,
No.
trying to find some reason to be offended today. That's what's
God.
happening. No, man.
but yeah. Ugh.
Well, this was super fun. Thank you for being on the show. Where should people go to find you? Where do you want to drive people?
Okay, people, if you want to stalk me up on Instagram and LinkedIn, where I'm the most quote unquote active. And yeah, kind of push me and bully me into starting YouTube again a bit more
Oh,
consistently.
don't say
So-
bully because then the haters are going to see this and they're going to be like, oh, I'll bully you. That's what they'll say.
Bully me nicely to get back.
Bully her nicely.
Bully
to
me
get her
nicely
YouTube
to get
going.
back into YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Okay,
yeah,
well,
thank
this
you
was
so
super
much.
fun. Thank you again. And thanks everybody for listening to this episode of What the Hell, Vedika. We will see you again on another episode soon.
Bye.